Hi everyone and welcome to this video. Today we'll be transforming this tank top, which is way too big for me, into this like cute little, not off the shoulder, but it kind of gives the off the shoulder vibe top. So first of all, I'm like grabbing the fabric so it'll fit tight to my body and I'm pinning it down. And I'm just following this for my whole torso. Instead of using this technique, you could also grab one of your tank tops that already fit you well and trace this on the bigger top. But I'm doing it this way now. I'm now making sure that it is not very tight at the bottom of the shirt, so it will be a little bit wide on the bottom. So now I'm just cutting along this pinned line, and I'm also cutting the straps off, so you will eventually have like a tube top to begin with, and then we're going to continue. But first we're gonna sew the sides together, so these dotted lines. I'm sewing away 1 centimeter from the edge, and I'm always using one of the lines on my sewing machine as a guide, so that the right side of the fabric is following that line. Here I'm sewing with a small straight stitch, but I ended up using a zigzag stitch as well, so it looked like this. Now I'm continuing on to some of the excess fabric, and with this fabric I'm going to make the straps and like the little, I don't know how to call them, but I'm attaching it to the the neckline, like the top of the tube top now, so it will just look prettier. It's for decoration. So I'm just making sure they're equal, so I'm measuring 4 centimeters from the edge, I think. So I'll have like 4 rectangles that are the same size. So firstly I'll take 2, and these 2 will become the straps. You will need some yarn to make the straps. I'm putting the yarn in the middle of the fabric and I'm folding the fabric over, and then I'm pinning it down. And eventually, if you've pinned the whole square down in this similar way, and then you're gonna sew one of the sides shut and the raw edge. When sewing the little side, you want the yarn to be really cut into the stitches. You want it to be really secure, because you will be pulling the yarn eventually from the other side, so you want it to be really cut into the stitches. And when you're sewing the long raw edge, you don't want the yarn to be cut in there. That's really important, that it's not a cut into the stitches. So now we're gonna turn this fabric inside out to reveal a strap. First remove the pins, and then you're gonna gently, very gently, pull the yarn while guiding like the other side of the fabric inward. And you have to be very gentle in the beginning, and eventually when it's completely in, like the other side is completely folded inwards. I don't know how to explain, but I think you get it when you're watching it. And then eventually you can just pull the yarn harder, and then you have the beginning of the strap, and then it's very easy. This is optional, but I would like my straps to be like flatter, like more crisp. So I'm ironing it down so they're more square and less round. So now we're gonna continue on to the 2 rectangles, which will be attached to the neckline and the back. I'm just folding it in half and pressing it down, so that's very clear. Like, it will be a lot easier than pinning it down or anything, just ironing it in. And after you've done that, I'm gonna cut off all the excess fabric and sew this in. I have to determine where I want my straps to be, and I'm just doing it in this manner. I'm putting like the tube top on, and I'm marking where I would like the straps to be. Also for the back, this is a bit more difficult, but you'll manage. So I only marked it for one side, so I'm just gonna mark on the other side as well. I do this on purpose because this way they will be even. You can see this mark is like I don't know, 6 centimeters from the edge, and I'm gonna measure 6 centimeters for the other edge as well, and I'm doing the same for the marking on the back. I'm also marking the insides because it will be easier when sewing later. You're going to pin the straps down onto these marked lines, so one end on the front, one end on the back. You do it for both straps, and then you're gonna get the ironed rectangles, and you're gonna place them over the straps and aligning them on the top of the top. And then you're just gonna pin it all around. I honestly forgot this, but you have to connect these 4 squares, but I didn't do it, so I'm just very quickly doing it here, and then I'm continuing on with pinning it down. So then just sew it in. As you can see, I removed the top part of my sewing machine. If you don't notice, that's very handy when sewing circles, like a sleeve hole, or in this case, like the neckline and the back. I'm just sewing as close to the edge as possible, I think, because the excess fabric wasn't very big. But always using some sort of guideline if I'm not marking like 1 centimeter away from the edge, so it will stay consistent. So I'm probably using the right side of my sewing foot as my guide, as where the right side of the fabric should be. So this is the end product. Sorry for the weird effect over the video, but otherwise my nipples will be staring at you, so just ignore it. I do really like the top. I hope you liked it as well. You don't even need an old top to create it. You could use a meter of fabric as well, but it's always nice to transform old clothes. If you like this, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I post more sewing tutorials, also with free patterns. So hopefully see you next time. Bye bye!